Imagine England in 1215, muddy, bustling, and ruled by King John. He's known for his cruelty, heavy taxes, and failed military campaigns. People are fed up. It's a powder keg waiting to explode. King John wasn't exactly Mr. Popular. He alienated powerful barons through his unfair demands and constant need for money. These barons weren't just rich guys. They held regional power and influence. The barons had enough. They revolted, demanding John acknowledge their rights. Their ancestors had fought alongside William the Conqueror, earning privileges John seemed happy to ignore. 1215, at Runnymede, a meadow near London, John met the rebel barons, resulting in Magna Carta. This wasn't some grand declaration of human rights, but a document focused on practical matters like inheritance, taxation, and legal process. Think of it as setting boundaries between rulers and those they ruled. Core ideas included needing hard evidence for arbitrary arrests, limiting royal taxation, and acknowledging even the king was bound by law. This was huge for its time. For centuries, monarchs had ruled divinely appointed and all-powerful kings. Magna Carta challenged this idea, suggesting limits on their power, an idea previously unthinkable. At its core, the Magna Carta promoted justice and fairness. These remain critical building blocks of democratic societies. Knowing that copies can change, multiple identical Magna Cartas were made and sent around England to powerful people. Each had the king's great seal on it. That's proof of authenticity. Although intended to bring peace, the signing of Magna Carta ultimately couldn't prevent the First Barons' War. Yes, a war it triggered despite being meant to prevent it. It planted seeds for a new way of thinking about governance. No king was above the law after all. Copies and reinterpretations evolved with new laws. Over time, people began connecting the dots back to the ideas. The American Revolution in the 1700s leaned heavily on those long-ago ideas outlined at Runnymede. Checks and balances on a powerful ruler resonating far into the future. Sound familiar? Those ideas laid out in that field weren't a sudden burst. Think of it more as slow burn for centuries, and then bang. Fundamental principles enshrined were no cruel and unusual punishment, fair trial, not taking property without just cause. That field in England was ground zero for modern Minju ideas. Fast forward through revolutions. The United Nations uses elements based on these very founding principles. Want to get your history fix and understand why any of this still matters 8 centuries later? Jones sheds light on a pivotal moment and its domino effect on how the Western world was shaped, our laws today. We take for granted certain rights, due process, not being unlawfully imprisoned, the government not just seizing whatever. These seem basic now, are actually based on one very old document. In analyzing this period of unrest and turmoil, even kings weren't all-powerful. They were subject to legal restraints, a huge shift. That concept influenced future generations. It wasn't abstract philosophy, its impact, very tangible, shaping Western civilization. Those weren't grand ideas concocted by scholars, but hard-fought compromises hammered out between a king and subjects. 8 centuries isn't that far removed. Those concepts born under that particular time affected legal systems globally, habeas corpus and trial by jury. That's because those barons said enough back then. What do you think are the most important lessons history can teach us about power and governance? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating historical events that continue to shape our world today.